Hello, my name is Untitled. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a simple mobile app by using Construct 3. The first thing you need to do is go to construct.net and then select Try Now. Click Launch Now and then select New Project. Name your project appropriately. So I'm just going to call this my first mobile app. Now you could put space in between. Now I'm just going to put -tgg, True Greek God. From the drop-down list, you can select 1080p or you can select 4K portrait. Let's select 1080p. Make sure it's a portrait, make sure you have the event set here, and then select Create. Use the Control key down on the keyboard and then use the wheel on your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. So this is the shortcut to zoom in and zoom out. I'm going to repeat this. You hold the Control key down on your keyboard and then you use the wheel on your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. The dotted lines represent the camera on your canvas, which means that this is the area that people will be able to see. So because we're creating a mobile app and we don't want to have hidden places here, we are going to remove this excess white space. We're going to do this by actually clicking on the view. If you don't see the view option here, just click once on the gray area so you can see the view, and then select from the viewport size, click once to highlight the information, right click and select copy. Then click on the gray area again, go to the size, click once, right click, and then select paste and press the enter key on your keyboard. So this way now we can actually see the whole area. The next thing we need to do is right click here on the project. We have a layout one. We're going to right click here and we're going to select rename, and I'm going to call this main view. I'm going to go here, I'm going to right click, I'm going to select insert new object. I'm going to scroll down and select sprite. I'm just going to say call this SPR header footer, and then I'm going to select insert and click once. I'm going to select a color of my choice, so then I'm going to select the fill icon and then click once. Or you could actually select the rectangle and you could actually put different rectangle shapes, or you could select the ellipse tool, the oval tool, and basically click and drag to add circles. If you want to put border, you could actually put border on it. Select different colors so you can actually see what's going on here. Okay, however, we want a single color. Happy with this color. I'm going to use now the rectangle to cover the whole space here, and I'm going to select exit. I'm going to place the new sprite to the top, and I could actually click and drag to increase or reduce the height and the width. Now, if I'm not sure if I want to make the width to the exact same size as my app, I'm going to click here. I'm going to be able to see that the width is 1080 pixels. So I'm going to click here and I'm just going to change the size, the width to 1080 pixels. Then I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to place the object, the sprite, to the right location. And now I have done that, I can actually hold the Control key down on my keyboard and click and drag. And if I actually hold the Shift key down, as you can see, if I move left or right, it basically gives me the copy, another instance of this object in the same line. If I don't hold the Control and the Shift key down, just Control key down, as you can see, I can actually move things around like this. But Control and Shift will allow me to put it in the exact same position. And then once I place it, I'm going to release my mouse button, and then I'm going to release the keys on the keyboard. And if there is little excess here, I could actually click on it and then use my arrow keys to put the information to the right, the sprite to the right location. So you can zoom in and you can use the space bar to move around. As you can see here, we have the gap here, so I'm just going to click here to place it there. I'm going to use the space bar. Okay, and we can scroll up or down. Okay, so you can, if you zoom in quite a lot, you will be able to have more control of where the sprite should be, and then you can use the scroll bars as well. Let's go to the top now. It is important to get this right to start with. Okay, I'm going to show you why in a second. Alright, so we've got this. Now I'm going to right click here for the layer. I'm going to select rename. I'm just going to call this content. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to select and add a new layer at the top, and I'm going to call this menu. I'm going to lock the bottom layer, and with the menu layer selected, I'm going to right click here. I'm going to select insert. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to select touch and then click insert. So I've got a touch object now. I'm going to right click here now and select insert new object. It's going to be sprite object. I'm just going to call it as SPR H for hamburger. I'm going to click here and I'm just going to create 3 lines. Make sure the thickness for the border is 0. I'm just going to make this a bit darker, and my lines will take 3 pixels. Well, let's make it 4 pixels here and go across. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels. That's about right. I'm going to leave 4 pixels, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's leave 5. And then I'm going to do another 4 pixels. So I'm going to click and drag. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to leave another 5 pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to click and drag. As you can see, I'm going outside the box to make sure that I'm covering everything. And then I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Now I've got quite a bit of excess here. I'm going to click on the crop tool. Now I've got my hamburger. I'm going to exit this window now. Let's put this hamburger here. We could actually reduce the width. We can increase the height. It's up to you. Okay, so this is my hamburger. So when somebody clicks on this button, I want something to happen. I want to basically be able to see the different views, different buttons, which will basically allow me to navigate to different views. But before I do that, let's double click here. Can you see here the center point is not actual in the center? So I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to click here on the center point, and I'm just going to click here on the center. So just about right. That's better. Next, I'm going to click on this icon here, and I'm going to make sure that these points are covering my whole object, because sometimes they're like that. So this is basically a collision point, which means that we don't care where, if people click on there or on there. We want to activate the button. So it's the whole box here. It's going to be classed as a it's going to be act as a button. Okay, we've got this now here. What we need to do is right click here and select new object, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm just going to make this object sprite. I'm just going to call this SPR main view. I'm going to click insert, and I'm going to select the fill color, and this color is fine. I'm just going to close this. So that's my first button. I'm gonna right click here, I'm gonna select clone object, and I'm gonna paste the click once just below it. I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to place the box in the right location. That's better. I'm gonna click here, I'm just gonna rename the sprite to be about me. I'm going to right click here, I'm going to select clone object and click once below it, and I'm going to call this object contact me, SPR contact me. Okay, so now we want to make things fancy. So I'm going to introduce you to a new tool. It's called Photopea. So you need to click on Photopea and click agree and exit this button. Click on file, select new, and I'm just going to leave the default size here for now. I'm going to introduce a new layer by clicking on this little icon here, bottom right corner. I'm going to hide the background layer, and I'm just going to put here a rectangle. You can click and drag, and I'm just going to change the color to something else. So I'm going to click here on the color and select the color to a color that I like. Going to click OK, and now I'm going to add a text, and I'm just going to call this main menu. I'm going to go to edit, select free transform, and if I click and drag, as you can see, look a bit stretchy. If I hold the shift key down while I'm clicking and dragging, I'm increasing the size in proportion. So I'm going to place this here, press the enter key. So now I'm going to click on edit and select, let's select image and then select trim. This will ensure that I've got any excess that I have will be removed. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to change the font color with the text here tool selected. I'm going to click on the black color here, just change the font color to something else, click OK. I'm going to double click here, not on the text but further to the right, to generate the layer style window, and I could actually apply bevel, or I could apply stroke. Let's change the color of the stroke. And I'm just going to increase the size of my stroke. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to change the color slightly, a bit brighter. And then click OK. I'm going to go to File, select Save as PSD, so I can edit this later, or I can go to File, select Export, and select JPEG, and click Save. Now I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to hide the main menu. I'm going to double click here right on the little T icon. I'm just going to call this Contact Me. I'm going to use the Move tool just to make sure that I'm going to move it about in the middle. I'm going to go to File, Let's go back there. Now you can see where if you put in the middle, because you will see two red lines, one going across and one goes vertically. So I'm going to go to File, select Export As and JPEG, and I'm going to duplicate this layer again. I'm going to hide the bottom layer. I'm going to double click on the little letter T there. I'm just going to call this About Me. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click and drag until I see the two lines, the vertical and horizontal line, to show me that it's right in the middle. I'm going to go to File, select Export As JPEG again. Okay, so I've got my pictures here. I think is the main menu. Text right in the middle. Let's double check. Okay, that's the middle. So I'm going to go to File, export this as JPEG again, and I'm going to go to File and select Save as PSD, because I've made some modifications here. So I'm going to click on the little arrow here, Show in Folder, and I'm just going to put these images into my desktop, into a folder called Mobile App. And I'm going to have here within this folder, I'm going to have another folder called Images. And I'm going to paste these pictures here. Okay. Let's name them appropriately. So I'm just going to call this Contact Me, Main Menu, About Me. Now I'm going to call these Buttons. Okay. I'm going to go back to my project. I'm going to double click on the main menu button. I'm going to click on the little icon here, says load an image. I'm going to go to my desktop, mobile app, images, and then main menu. I'm going to zoom out a bit. That's better. By holding Control and the wheel on my mouse, zoomed out. So let's do this again. Let's reduce the size. Again, it will be better if you do it for the first time. Just sort out the first menu before you start cloning the objects. Don't worry if it's blurry here. When you actually test that, it will look much better. Okay, so I'm going to double click now on the next one. I'm going to click on the little icon here. This is About Me, I think. Yeah, SPR About Me. I'm going to exit this. Let's reduce the width. The height seems to be okay. Select this, so the height for that one is, let's go on the size, that's the height. So I'm going to copy and paste the height here for the size. So I've got the same height. Let's increase the width. This will do. And I'm going to double click here and upload my last picture, which is the Contact Me. Instead of clicking and dragging, if I click here, I can highlight the right click, copy the size of the above button, then click once, right click and paste, press the enter key, and then I don't have to faff about too much on the size. So I've got consistency on the sizes. So consistency is a key thing, so make sure you select all the objects and basically put the same size there. Okay, so I've got my main menu, I've got the about me, I've got the contact me. I'm gonna hold the shift key down to highlight all these three buttons, and the initial visibility will be invisible, so I'm gonna check this box. So when basically people load the app, they will not be able to see the buttons. So now what I need to do is when somebody click on this button here, this these buttons will basically be visible, and when they click again, these buttons will be invisible. So I'm gonna go to the event sheet, and then I'm gonna add a new event, and then it's gonna be a touch event. So I'm gonna double click here, touch, and then is on tab object. So once I've tabbed an object, I'm going to click here to select the object. The object is SPRH, the hamburger, and then click done. So when somebody touches on this object, I want something to happen. Okay, now the action we are going to add, if we click on action, we want to add an action, and the action we're going to add is we want to make this object. We're going to set visible to visible. Also, we're going to add the next object, which is the next button, to visible. And also we're going to add the next object, which is the main menu, to visible as well. So when somebody touches this hamburger, we're going to set these buttons to visible. And when somebody selects this button, one of the buttons, we will be able to navigate to a different view. We're going to go to the main view. Now we have done our menu. We're going to right click on the main view. I'm just going to, in fact, let's put a title there. I'm going to right click first of all, insert new object, and I'm just going to add here a text object. I'm just going to call this txt title. And click insert here. Just going to change the size to, let's make it 144. Let's make it a bit smaller. Let's make it 120 maybe. Yeah. I'm just going to call this main menu. It's going to fit. Yeah, let's make it a bit smaller. Let's make it 100. Yeah, that's better. Let's change the color. Let's select the color of our choice and then click away. Yeah, this will do for now. Okay. And I'm also going to put copyright protected here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to insert a new text. Just going to call this txt copy right. Click insert. Just going to put this here. Let's squeeze it in a little bit. It doesn't have to be that high, so I'm going to unlock that first of all. Put this there. Change it to 50 maybe. And I'm just going to put copyright protected by Ionis Dizoglu. Let's make it 40. That's better. Just going to paste it in the center. And I'm just going to change the font color as well. Okay. So I've got copyright protected, that's good. Now, what is not good, I'm just gonna highlight this. I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna change the order, move to the content. And I'm gonna highlight this and this here, right click here, Z order, move to the content. Okay, so if I make this invisible, yeah, that's good. So the menu, still have the menu on the menu. Okay, cool. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna duplicate this layout now. I'm just gonna call this about me. I'm gonna duplicate this one. I'm just gonna call this contact me. Okay, I'm gonna double click on the about me. I'm gonna select the text and I'm just gonna change that to about me. I'm gonna double click on contact me. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna select the title. I'm gonna call this contact me. Okay, now I've done that. So I've got the main menu, I've got the about me, and I've got the contact me. Okay, so that's good. I can go now to my main menu. I'm gonna go to, in fact, to the event sheet, and I'm gonna add a new event. It's gonna be touch event. So when somebody touches an object, taps an object, so the object is the SPR about me, I want something to happen. What I want to happen is system action. I'm just going to type here go to layout, and I'm going to go to the layout about me. That's good. I'm going to click on the little green arrow here. I'm going to right click and select copy. I'm going to right click here and select paste, allow, and then I'm going to double click here, and instead of about me, it's going to be contact me. I'm going to double click here on the about me. Instead of about me, it's going to be contact me. I'm going to right click here again, select paste. I'm going to double click here. Instead of about me, it's going to be main view. I'm going to double click here on the about me. Instead of main view, sorry, about me, it's going to be main view. So saves me to keep going through the process of add an event, touch event, etc., etc. So they're all the same. Also, what I want to do is I want to make sure that all of these three will be again go to the invisible to the state of being invisible. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to select copy. I'm going to click here and Control V to paste. So I'm going to double click here. I'm just going to change the visibility to invisible. And I'm going to double click here, change the state to invisible. I'm going to do the same here, change the state to invisible. Click done. I'm going to hold the shift key down. And basically I'm going to select the first one. I'm going to hold the shift key down, select the last one, or vice versa. By holding the shift key down, you will be able to actually highlight all of these at once. So I'm selecting the first one, hold the shift key down, click on the last one. And now if I right click here and select copy, I'm going to click here and select right click, select paste, and click here on the green arrow key. Right click, select paste, and now I've got the states to be invisible. So when somebody touches the hamburger, this will pop up. When somebody touches the about me, all the other menus will disappear and the person will be navigate to the about me. If somebody touches the contact me, all the buttons will disappear, will hide again, and then the person will be navigated to the contact me, and the same will happen with the main menu. So let's go to the main menu. Let's click play and let's click on this option. As you can see, the menu appears. I'm just going to select About Me. I'll move to the About Me and all these buttons are hidden now. If I click here, I'm going to click on Contact Me. The Contact Me page opens, the buttons are hidden. If I click here, click on the main menu, and basically I can now navigate throughout my mobile app. So the next thing I need to do is put some content on my mobile app. So I'm going to go to the main menu, the main view. I'm just going to hide the menu because I don't want the menu to be taking my content here. I'm going to lock the menu on all of them. So I'm going to double click here. I'm going to hide and lock the menu and click the content page. I'm going to go there, hide and lock the menu and click on the content layer and go back now to the main menu. The next thing we need to do is right click here, select insert object. I'm going to select the sprite. I'm just going to call this SPRBG background, and I'm just going to make it, I'm just going to increase the size slightly. I'm going to make it is 1080 is my original width, and I'm just going to put here let's click OK. Let's put some color here for now. Let's go here, is 1920. So instead of 1920, I'm going to click here. I'm just going to put 1900. Okay. Let's stretch it, that's okay. I'm going to zoom out. So this is the layout that I've got. I'm just going to put here, select the oval shape here. I'm just going to reduce the light of this color. I'm just going to click and drag like that. This will do for now. Or maybe let's put it there. Click OK, and then put this there and reduce the size a little bit. Okay, I've got a line. Actually, it looks alright now. Leave a gap. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, what I can do, I can Control C, double click on the About Me, Control V and click once and paste it. Place it to the right location again. Again, you could do this prior to duplicating the layers. Control V to paste. So you don't have to keep going back and forth like I'm doing here. That's the purpose of duplicating the layer. So if I press play now, so as you can see, looks a bit more attractive now. And if I go to the main menu, I could actually right click here, select insert new object. It's going to be a text. I'm just going to put this content here. I'm just going to leave a gap there to put a title actually. Let's increase the size. Let's make the size 80 maybe, or let's make it 60. I'm gonna duplicate this, clone this object, and to make sure it goes there. I'm just going to reduce the size to maybe 50 or let's make it 40. For that one, I'm gonna put welcome to my app, and I can make it bold and italic, and here I'm gonna type this app will allow you to find out about to get to know me better. And I'm just gonna Control A, Control C. I'm gonna Control V a few times here. So as you can see here, just to put Control A, yeah. Now, if you're struggling here, if you click on the three dots here, you will be able to expand further. Let's expand a little bit more. On another video tutorial, I'm going to cover scroll bars as well. So let's reduce the amount of content that we have here. Yeah, we still have a few content there. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna hold the shift key down, highlight these two content, both text boxes, Control C to copy. I'm gonna go to the about, Control V to paste. I'm gonna go to the contact us, Control V to paste. And here I'm just gonna change the content here. I'm gonna clone this by clicking, and dragging, and I'm just gonna put here mobile number. I'm gonna hold the Control and the Shift key down to clone this again. No clone it, it's creating another instance of it. Just change the content. Address. And then you put your address and so on and so forth. Now, if you want to have a hyperlink, so you can actually ask people to go to your website directly, what you could do is, let's duplicate this, and I'm gonna right click and select clone. So I've got different, so I'm just gonna call this txt H for hyperlink, and put H Google. Let's put this there, and text will be https://google.com. I'm gonna right click here. Let's make this, change the color to blue. The universal color for hyperlinks. Let's make it bold as well. Okay, so we're gonna right click, insert new object. We're gonna scroll down and we'll select browser. Okay, we're gonna select browser, and we're gonna go to the event sheet, and then we're gonna say add a new event, and we're gonna say on touch of the object, tab an object. The object is the txt hyperlink Google. We want something to happen. What we want to happen is the browser will basically take us to URL. Go to URL, and then just before the double quote, we're going to put here google.com, and it's going to be self, and let's click done. Now if I press play and I click here, it will open Google Chrome. So on the mobile app, it will actually open a new tab. So let's go back to the mobile app. So we could go to the menu, About Me, Main Menu, Contact Me. Then you can actually click there to go to a page. So before I close this video, let's go back to here. Let's save our project. Let's save our project. We're gonna go to the menu, select project, select save as, and then you can actually select save to the cloud. Save to the cloud. So I'm just gonna select OneDrive. Or what you could do, you can actually go here. Let's exit that. Go to File, Project, Save As, and download a copy. So we're gonna name it appropriately and click OK. So now I have my project. I can copy my project and paste my project within my mobile app here, so I can actually continue in the future. So in the future I can actually, let's close everything. I could actually go to launch Construct 3, and then I can select File. Then I can select my desktop. I can select mobile app. I can select my first project, and my project is open, and I can take it from there. Hope you've learned something new today. I hope you will use these new skills of yours to create popular and attractive mobile apps. Bye for now.